Hey, what's going on everybody? John Couri here, LCDC III and student nurse. Today's video is going to be all around medication-assisted treatment. It's one of the best tools we have in our toolbox right now for fighting the opioid epidemic and really drug addiction. So I'm not trying to say this is for every single client and every single person who's got a drug addiction problem needs to use medication-assisted treatment, but part of a master clinician skill is identifying the things that we have to help with the problem, and this has been an extremely effective tool that we've found, and most of the governing agencies say that medication-assisted treatment is the gold standard for substance abuse. Okay, so when we take a look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's really important to just realize that as humans we have these needs, and at the very bottom are biological needs of just really being able to go to the bathroom, being able to breathe, being able to have water, and being able to be feeling normal. So now what we know is that drug addiction completely compromises our ability to feel normal. And that drug addiction that goes from using a drug for pleasure and feeling happy actually turns into just feeling normal day to day, and you actually fear being sick. So looking at this, tying this to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, at the bottom level, if you're feeling sick, you're unable to climb up through these levels. You're not going to be able to have a job. You're not going to be able to have a family life. You're not going to be able to do all the hobbies and the things that we need as people to grow and go to the next level. So it's very important to remember that if you're sick, if you're feeling down, it's almost pointless to even try and be like, hey, we got to get you working. We got to get you back into the world if you're feeling this way. So just to drive that home, through medication-assisted treatment, the biggest advantage it really has is it takes that person's fear of sickness, that person's fear of wondering, oh my God, what's going to happen when I run out of the drug and feel like misery? I will do anything that I will to avoid that. And what medication-assisted treatment does is it stops that. It says, hey, let's nullify that problem. And as a bonus, if you're in a truly awesome facility, they're going to use counseling so that you can systematically not only take care of what the drug addiction was really primed to take care of, but it's going to allow you to systematically go from level to level to level with the guidance and the help of doctors and counselors. Okay, so it's very important to also take a look at the behavior of control. Control is one of the most important things that we can have in ourselves, and when you have control of your own behavior, it's really a skill. And in the 21st century, it's very easily to let yourself kind of spiral out of control. Now, what medication-assisted treatment really does is it highlights that person who's compulsively taking drugs just as much as they can get sometimes just to feel better or avoid sickness. It allows that person to go from compulsive use whenever they can that's very disorganized, very unsystematic, to a schedule where they wake up in the morning, they take their medication, and they feel normal so that they don't have to worry about that. And by taking that compulsion and that disorganization and funneling that down into a very systematic approach, you're very much ahead of the game as far as substance abuse, because it's kind of unrealistic to have someone have this behavior of where they're constantly consuming whatever they can, or even just when they can and want to consume that drug, and completely stop that. So it's more of a realistic approach in that aspect as well. So last thing I want to drive home is the evidence behind MAT. MAT works. They've done study after study, and they show that even in the 21st century, this is in many ways the gold standard for people who are trying to beat substance abuse addiction. So it's very important to remember that when this first came out, Suboxone, which is the drug that our facility uses, in 2002, when that came out, they actually saw a huge drop in the overdose deaths from heroin, because this drug is able to, like I said, just normalize that compulsiveness to try and avoid sickness. So this shows methadone as the dotted line, and then the bottom line is buprenorphine. So this is an older chart, and I show this not because I want to show outdated data, but even when this data was first coming out, because these drugs were kind of new in the game, there was help. We were showing that overdose deaths were going down, people were getting help, people were more committed to recovery, because instead of compulsively trying to find where they were going to get their next drug, they had a doctor, they had a counselor, they had a clinician team that they could rely on to not only get their medication, but figure out a systematic path to grow and go up those Maslow's hierarchy of needs steps. So Next video, I'm really going to dive into why our facility has chosen buprenorphine products and all of the advantages that come with buprenorphine. But like I said, medication-assisted treatment is really something that we all need to just have an open mind about. I'm tired of hearing clinicians, pharmacists, doctors have this negative mindset when they hear Suboxone or methadone even. We've got a problem that is killing too many people every single day, every single year, and we have tools that we can use to attack and fix it. So let's kill that stigma, let's get ahead of it, and we will see you next time on the next video. Thanks.